Just moments ago, the Metropolitan Chief, Philip, just arrived, and he's just coming down the stairs right now. He's just arrived. Your Eminence,
Yes.
you are going to be looking at something, the weeping icon, that is very important to this community here at St. George.
It's a miracle. You mentioned the community. I am very delighted to tell you that I'm coming here to proclaim this icon as the miraculous icon of Cicero, Illinois.
A church official from New Jersey has arrived to inspect the icon. He and St. George's pastor believe the tears are a miracle.
Priest, Father Nicholas, says he trembled when he first saw the glistening tears. Bishop Basil headed tonight's Mass at the packed Arab Christian church. He came all the way from New Jersey to see the weeping icon.
I had only been a bishop for 2 years at that time, in 1994. I had gone home for Palm Sunday weekend, home from California where I was residing at the Chancery, home to Pennsylvania, to my parents' home for Palm Sunday weekend. I recall being at my parents' home when I received a telephone call from Metropolitan Philip, reporting what he had heard had occurred here at St. George and Cicero, and directing me to travel from Pittsburgh then to Cicero as soon as possible. I was taken aback by what he told me had occurred here, first of all. And secondly, that I, as a young bishop, was asked to go and witness and investigate what was happening here. I came the very next day, which was great, and Holy Monday. And I remember driving up to the church, and the street was jam-packed with people outside the church. And myself and those who were with me in the car, Father Nicholas, and I forget the young man who was driving, just all of us automatically began to weep for no apparent reason other than we were drawing near to holiness. The church was filled, not only with our own Orthodox people, but with people of every faith and people of no faith. Those who were coming with prayer and those who were coming just with curiosity. I remember looking at her eyes. It wasn't just fluid dripping from where the eyes are. I saw the eyes well up with tears, like a human eye would well up with tears and then just overflow. It was real weeping, not leaking, if that differentiation makes any difference. To say that I was humbled, that I was taken aback, I could hardly even say my part in the service, from weeping myself to see her eyes, the eyes of our Virgin Mother, welling up with tears and overflowing for us.
First, when I heard screaming and people with a high voice, the weeping icon is crying, the Virgin Mary is crying, I was inside the altar. I came out running. Everybody was shocked. It's a shocking moment for everybody. And I felt different, completely different person right away. It's like hit you with a fearness, a scary moment to see something an icon is crying.
I remember when she first wept. I was almost 14 years old, and I came to the church and was completely struck by what I saw, trying to understand it. And as I grew older, I realized that weeping or crying, whether it's for joy or of sadness, is because you value something. You know that something is worth something. Perhaps the Virgin Mary cried, only God knows, due to the fact that God created us and the world is valued by God. He intervened. He reached out to us through this miracle to remind us of our value to Him, that He loves us, to remind us that we are worth something, that we have to know our worth, that we are children of God. We are not strangers to Him. We are not strangers to the church.
While it's not unusual, and it ought not be unusual for us, for God to act visibly in His creation, it's nothing that happens every day or everywhere. It's a special blessing for this parish family, not just for this building, but for this parish family, this congregation. God visited you and visits you. This is but one visible manifestation of the many miracles that happen in this community.
It helps everybody, because when you come to church, especially when you come to the church with a weeping icon, you feel different, completely different person. It's like a holiest shrine. You have something in there that you want to see, and you are welcoming. It's like a miracle is happening, and you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And you feel your holiest, you feel secure, you feel calm down when you come to church, especially to this church, because of the holiness in this church. Could be many things. Could be the love of God to us. Could be to waking us up. Could be we're doing something wrong. She wants us to wake up. She wants us, it's like a shake, to shake us up a little bit and see your life story is going to be changes in the future. Let's get better, or do something better, or open your mind to things that is not happening before. It's happening now.
I know there are many people here now who were not here 25 years ago. But that they are here is a reason for them to be thankful. That God has called them to be a part of this particular parish family, where He's worked such a great wonder for His people. Where this is the time to record everything. Use this anniversary year as something to record everything, so that it's not forgotten.
A miracle is when something takes place outside the norm. A miracle is something that has an impact, a power. What is a miracle? It's just that God has reminded us, that God has shown us that He does love us. Maybe God is reminding us that when we know the value of the church, and we know the value of ourselves as His children, that we would become miracles to one another, but only to know the value of what we're doing. To ask God to bless us and work through us, for us to be a miracle, not only wood and paint, but that we, flesh and blood and spirit, to be a miracle for the community. That we should not hide our treasure and our talent and bury it into the ground, but that we should bring it out. That we should be for each other an icon and an image of God's love, and to remind each other day in and day out, and any time that we visit St. George Church, to remember that at the end of times, on Judgment Day, He will ask us if we were a shrine, each and every one of us, a shrine, a holding place of power, revealing God's power, God's love for the world.